Welcome back, Nathan. Good to see you again. Looking forward to our continued discussions on issues in senior care. I want to talk about one that everyone, if you operate a senior care facility, whether it's an assisted living facility, nursing home, a CCRC, at some point you're going to have an agency come in and investigate you. They've received a complaint. It's an annual licensure inspection. It's a certification survey. You're going to have an investigation take place. When that takes place, Nathan, how should a facility respond?
Well, first and foremost, and again, this is not self-serving, call your counsel. Please call your counsel, but also call your insurance company. Many times there's insurance that covers investigations. You don't want to be in a situation where you've triggered coverage or you've missed the trigger because you get further down the line in the investigation and the insurance says, well, you should have called us from the outset. Too many things are in motion. We're not going to pay the claim. And also counsel. Counsel obviously has been through this drill on numerous occasions. In many cases, we know the investigators, we know the administrators, we know the folks that we're dealing with in the licensure agency. And it doesn't mean we can make things go away, but we can certainly oftentimes cut through some of the confusion about what's going to happen as an investigation unfolds.
I think that's great advice. And, again, I know we've said this in prior session, but stay calm. Agencies have an obligation to investigate. If they get a complaint against you, against your facility for an incident or an action, they have to come and investigate. It does not mean that there's going to be a finding against the facility. So first thing you do is don't panic when they show up at your door saying, hey, we've got a complaint investigation. We need to come in. Understand that that's going to take place. As Nathan said, contact your counsel. And really, again, golden rule, be nice when you're dealing with these investigators. It's not personal. They're doing their job. You need to provide them what they're looking for. But when you engage counsel, one thing we can help you with is preparing a written response to whatever the complaint may be. Because they're going to look at your documentation. They're going to talk to witnesses, talk to people involved. But ultimately, they're going to look at it from their own perspective. And sometimes we need to frame things and provide a more detailed written response of information they have missed, additional facts that may influence their decision-making, or kind of responding to something a resident said or a CNA said or someone said that just wasn't correct. And so that's a key part of this, is us helping you draft that written response.
Couldn't agree more. In fact, one of the things that I find as a dynamic in these written responses is that we know about that in-flight response. And I oftentimes see the freeze response, and facilities just, they don't even know how to tell their story. And that's where we can come in. The other thing I want to say about written responses is if it's done right, I think, and I don't have numbers on this, but I think the majority of all investigations do get resolved just on the paper. If you can respond and show that this is a bogus complaint or that you have a good explanation, that the agency is incentivized to get rid of it at that point, because otherwise you have to go to an informal hearing, which is the provider's opportunity to talk directly with the board members and hopefully resolve it informally. If it doesn't get resolved there, then it goes to a formal hearing, which again, each time we're whittling things down, and each time there are opportunities to settle these matters, which is going to be a much easier thing to do with the assistance of counsel. I think one of the things that's really important to know is that if that investigator walks in the door, picks up the phone, don't be so worried at that instance that you're going to go all the way to a formal hearing. There's a lot of steps along the way. There's lots of places that these things can get resolved, and we can help you do that.
Absolutely. And thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.